Welcome, listeners. That is many welcomes. And this is episode number 124 of the Fret Talk podcast. You are here with your host. It is Mr. BudgetPedalChap. Hi, how you going? You are also here with the man from man, Mr. Matt Quine. Say hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Hey. You are donning a very attractive looking sock on your microphone this week.
It's a tone sock.
Yeah, tone sock, yeah. We are the height of professionality on the Fret Talk podcast. I mean,
absolutely
the pop shield. It's not really a pop shield. It's like a windshield thing on the end of mine. It's held on by a hair elastic because it's just so old. It's lost any springiness. And you're using a sock, so I mean, this microphone didn't come with one, and I haven't bought one. And I used to have a pop shield, but it disappeared. Yeah, pop, and it is gone. So yeah, I mean, back in the infancy of the Fret Talk podcast, I used to have a wrapped around tight on my microphone, which was equal parts hilarious and probably not very sanitary.
Yeah. So you had that, and I had a Bluetooth headset going into an iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, like how times have changed, and the quality of the audio on the podcast it's absolutely superb these days. I really love it. I especially appreciate your microphone, Matt, because it makes you sound quite like a football commentator. It's got that kind of like nasal honk to it in the mid range, and because you've got the sock over the top, the pop shield is really quite plosive, and it just sounds like football commentary. It's great.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry, that's me, Mum in the background.
Hello, Mum.
I'm wearing headphones. She definitely can't hear that.
No. All right. Well, at least I was polite. Let's do a podcast anyway. It's probably worth not pontificating. Matt, how are you? What have you been up to?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Had a bit of a quiet week. I have a new pedal that you don't know about because I never bothered mentioning it at any point.
You sneaky boy.
So you remember I put a mini board together and I was like, right, this is everything I need to gig with one of my bands.
Yes, I do remember that.
It doesn't have an octaver on it, and I need that for that band. And there wasn't enough room for the nether octaver from TC. And also, whilst it's great for adding thickness with fuzz, if you want to do it on the lower strings, the tracking once you get above about the 12th fret on the G string is not fantastic. So I didn't particularly want to use that. So I scoured the internet, and after selling the Wilkinson P90s from my vintage Les Paul and the gold P90s out of my vintage SG, I had £40.26 sat in PayPal, which, as we all know, money in PayPal is free money.
Yes, yeah.
So I went onto Reverb and I managed to find a Moore Pure Octaver.
Oh, nice.
Less than that, and that's got so many different options because it goes up to and down to.
Yeah. So
you can have just one octave of up one or up two or down one or down two, or any combination of the two. Two of them.
Is the pure octave of the brown one, the one that's based on the Boss?
Yes.
Yeah. I had one of those at one point, and yes, the options are excellent.
Yeah, really good, and you can put it into Boss OC2 mode, which is what I've done because that's the one on my main board, which is one down and two down. And
cool.
It tracks perfectly, and it does exactly what I need it to do, which is basically just thicken up a sound that I'm then going to drive that kind of sounds a little bit synthy.
Yeah. I mean, there were two, weren't there? There were two octaves. There was the pure octave and the tender octave.
Yeah.
And because
the tender was
based on the POG.
Yeah.
And because that one was apparently so good, I've not managed to try it, but because that one was like so authentic that they had to revise that one. The pure octave got overlooked a bit, and some people took it as an opportunity to shit on the pure octave, and I didn't think that was very fair at all, because I think I'd done this on my Instagram channel where I tried to break it. So I tried to make it glitch out by playing ridiculous sweep arpeggios, and it carried on like an absolute champion.
Yeah. That's my experience with it. Like I say, I plugged it in, I put it on that mini board, so I had to rearrange a couple of bits. But yeah, I've got it on the mini board, and it sounds great. It tracks exactly as I want it to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'd probably, and this is going to be risky, but I'll probably gig that board this weekend.
Nice. That really shows the trust you have in that gear.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's some cheap stuff on that board, but there's also like the Tate Effects Anteras as well, and
yeah.
So it's got a wide range. There was a post on Facebook on the Guitar Nerds group, or whatever it's called these days, where somebody was like, do you have lots of cheap pedals or lots of boutique pedals, and do you have many or few?
Yes.
And I was like, yes I do.
Yeah, it's exactly that, isn't it? And how are you getting on with the Anteras? Because it's kind of honeymoon period over now, isn't it?
Yeah, I still love it. It's absolutely fantastic. On that particular board, I've found the setting I want for my like light drive, and it is like I've set it up like that. But I could quite easily, if I wanted to, drop it off that board, put it onto the other board, and make it a totally different style of drive pedal. It's just that versatile. It's a fantastic pedal.
Yeah, it really is a chameleon of the drive world, isn't it? It can do anything pretty much. I'll absolutely rant and rave about it because it's fucking brilliant. The clean blend. Yeah. It's just the clean blend. Just it works.
Yeah, the clean blend and the usable gain sweep and usable tone sweep just make it a usable pedal. Like, why don't pedal companies think of this? Like, what's the point in that? Like the third at the start and the third at the end of a Boss pedal tone sweep. There's no point in it.
Yeah, we shall be talking about that a little bit later on. Because yes, it is exactly that, isn't it? It's like woolly nonsense, and then like usable but a bit dark, kind of nice. Oh my god, why is that hurting? Why is it so brittle?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's literally that, and that is the Boss tone stack. That is, but people again they rave about the Boss tone stacks, and I can't understand why.
Yeah, I've never been at like I'm not somebody that hates on Boss, but I don't think I'd ever put a Boss drive pedal on my board, just because there are so many better options out there.
Yeah,
and every Boss drive pedal I've ever had doesn't stack well with other drive pedals.
I mean, there are a few. The SD one does. The Blues driver's known for its stacking as well. But I completely understand what you're saying in the fact that there are always better options, aren't there, than the Boss.
Yeah, and they're usually a similar price bracket or slightly cheaper.
It's very much that, isn't it?
For a long time, my rhythm sound was a soul food, and that's considerably cheaper than most Boss drive pedals, and in my opinion, better than most Boss drive pedals as well. I know that's going to annoy a lot of the internet, but
yeah, and I think tip your hat to the heritage of Boss, and agree. I think we all agree that actually that they've earned their place in the market. There are loads of pedals that take their initial designs and run with that. And without those guys, the pedal market definitely wouldn't be the way it is at the moment. But those pedals are pedals that were designed in the 70s and 80s. And they just don't stand up to modern standards. Like they're a little bit noisy. Like that's the problem I had with the Blues Driver, is that the gain sweep was just a bit noisy towards the end, and you're like, actually, there's not that much gain going on. It shouldn't really be making this noise. The tone stacks are usable, but only within a narrow spectrum. With if you take the entire pot into consideration. And there were companies, like we say, like TateFX, who are just doing better with it. Like they've refined it, and I would take an Antares all day, every day over a Boss alternative.
Yeah, I can't argue with that at all.
So have you been up to any more this week, actually, Matt?
No, like I've picked the guitar up a couple of times to play the guitar at home, but nothing exciting other than like plugging in guitars and making lots of noise.
I mean, that's what we're here for, isn't it? I mean, it was a real nice shock actually that you mentioned you were playing with an octave pedal, because just before this podcast, I had a little bit of time. I got it up here like 20 minutes before the podcast. I was really tempted to record a no talk all tone, but I thought that might be pushing it a little bit. But I plugged in the Joyo. What is it? Let's have a look. No, that's the Uzi. I got the 10, 5, 6. So the 16, the XVI, the Joyo R Series Octava. I was playing with that, and it's got. I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks back, but just as a recap, it's got a dry control. It's got sub and upper, which do exactly what you'd imagine, and then it's got your mod, which adds wobbliness to your wobbliness.
Is that the official wording of it?
I think they have that in the user manual. Some of the user manuals for the R series stuff are fantastic. Like there's one that leans towards a certain pedal company, and it skirts so close to mentioning the pedal company's name without actually mentioning it. I'm not going to mention which one, because I'm going to make you the listener go and search for it, because it's worth it when you find it. But yeah, so I was playing this octave pedal before we came on, and I was a little bit late to the call because it was that much fun. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So with the upper and the sub, if you blend them in to a subtle enough degree, you can almost get kind of organy sounds, which is kind of cool. It doesn't track polyphonically hugely fantastically, but if you're only doing small chord clusters, it's good enough for jazz. So I thought that was really, really fun. But I have done some actual stuff this week rather than just pissing about on an octave pedal, because I don't need that for a band. I was just doing it for shits and or giggles. As I mentioned, No Talk All Toad, last week's one, which won't be last week's one by the time this podcast comes out. So the one last week to us right now in this temporal moment was the Boss OS2, and it happens to be your old Boss OS2, doesn't it, Matt?
Yes, and it's a Boss OS2 that I came into not because I wanted to buy a Boss OS2, but because one of my good friends who had a dabble in playing the guitar but decided not to keep going at it went, do you want these pedals? They're worth roughly this. You can have them for half that. They're just in the way. So I took a Boss DS2. Oh, sorry, OS2. Is it OS2?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't even remember what it was called, but it was a pedal that has the tube that comes out and goes in your mouth. And I can't remember what brand it was.
Weren't a Dano, was it? The Dano Talkback?
Not to my knowledge. It was one of the other. In fact, it might have been. Yeah, it was a Dan Electro pedal shape. It was like that line at the top, and then like the old Dan Electro pedal. So it might well have been that.
Yeah.
But yeah, trash, absolute trash. It was
absolute trash. Fuck me.
Like it was awful. Like there's reviews online, like also criticizing it. But I managed to sell it on the internet for more than I bought it for.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a bonus, isn't it? So you can't complain. Yeah, I mean a talkbox is one of the few effects that I've not had the opportunity to try, but they're supposed to be pretty bad for your teeth. And
they're very bad for you. So basically what they do, that tube just feeds... So there's a little speaker inside the pedal.
Yeah, it's like a micro amp, isn't it?
Yeah. And you've got so you have the microphone to the outside of the tube, and the inside of the tube has a speaker in it going as loud as physically possible to get the sound up this tube and into your mouth. And of course, lots of like noise going into your mouth is going to rattle around any fillings and just... Yeah, then... It's an odd sensation.
Yeah.
Probably the nicest way to put it.
I'd imagine it'd be quite similar to like biting down as hard as you can onto an electric toothbrush that's on.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Like I don't recommend.
No, I don't recommend either, to be honest. Either the talkbox or the electric toothbrush. But yeah, my teeth aren't strong enough to cope with that anymore. Like if I were in my 20s, I would potentially give it a go. But now I'm a man in my 30s with janky ass teeth and fillings. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it.
Yeah. No.
The Boss OS2 has happened this week. And out of all of the No Talk All Tone series, it was the first one where I was playing it and was just like, this pedal doesn't sound good. This is not inspiring me whatsoever. The playing actually doesn't reflect that. I listened back to it and it sounds like I was much more inspired than I actually was in the moment. But there's a really odd sensation that's happened as well. So when you upload a video onto YouTube, you kind of you roll the dice a little bit, and whether it sounds good or not really depends on what YouTube's compression algorithm is doing that day. And a lot of the time, your fantastic tone falls a little bit flat and doesn't sound quite as good as it did. And that's just down to YouTube compression, and everyone experiences it, and you're just like, oh well, you kind of get over it. It's a wonderful facsimile of what the sound should be, and you can kind of compensate for that when you listen to it anyway. With the OS2, it did the complete opposite. So it turned what I thought was a not so great, like kind of a bit spiky sounding drive, and it smoothened it out a bit, and it started to sound really good. I was listening back and thinking, shit man, this is much better than I thought. But no.
So what you're saying is buy a compressor if you're going to buy one of these pedals?
Well, it's specifically a YouTube compressor. I don't know if it exists yet, but hopefully someone out there who's got more brains than I have and more electronic savviness will hone in that YouTube compression and put it in pedal format, just so that you can get the OS2 to sound a little bit nicer.
I mean, do you really want to go into that much effort to make the OS2 sound nicer? Just want to get rid of the OS2.
Yeah, there's probably a safer bet.
Or mod the OS2.
Yeah, possibly. I haven't opened it up, so I don't know if it is moddable. But
it is, because you asked me to open it up before I sent it to you.
Oh, of course I did, yeah. I'm going to have to look into this and see, because the internet's going to be full of people who've done this. And I believe it is just a straight up copy of the two circuits, the SD one and the DS one, straight up. So if I can get some like a schematic for the DS one and get some mods on that, potentially make it into a usable pedal, and then get another no talk alternative. Woo!
Yeah,
there we go. That's
BPC modded.
That's it, mileage. That is. I'm down for that. Because I'm looking at my pedals now and thinking, I think I've recorded demos for most of these, so it's starting to worry a little bit now. But hey ho, I'm sure we'll manage something. I'll just do them in pairs next time. Do like Tube Screamer running into. Yeah. Be quite good actually. I don't know. I might throw that up to my viewers. What else have I done this week? Oh, that's it. You've seen part of what I've done this week, which is I was pissing about with photo editing software, weren't I?
Yes.
So the Fret Talk podcast has been going for quite a while now. I can't remember exactly how long, but it's been like over 2 years, and we've been running with the same artwork for quite a while. I thought I'll do a little bit of a spruce up and see if I can get a new logo idea sorted. So we've been batting back and forth the ideas of a potential new podcast logo, and some of the of the entries for this logo have looked a little bit communisty.
Yeah, like, and when you say a little bit communisty, I mean a lot like you might as well have done them in red and yellow and had a hammer and sickle behind our heads.
I mean, that's a possibility. I'm pretty sure I can make that happen. So, but yeah, potentially you might be seeing the new Fret Talk communist logo. We got a request this week, didn't we? We got a request from because I posted in the Fret Talk podcast group about stuff people want us to talk about. Because surprise, surprise, this week is a slow news week. Well, I say it's a slow news week. There's actually been a release today, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Potentially not at all, depending on how long it takes us to waffle. Because that's how we roll. But we got a request in that post saying, do some pedal weed mind's eye, and ask and ye shall receive. So here,
well, let me put my phone in my pocket so that I can't do any googling, and I'll keep my hands away from the keyboard.
That's it. So this is a return of the much loved, possibly detested pedal weed mind's eye segment. This is and we are thinking of you, Ayrton, during this time. So, are you ready, Matt?
I am ready.
So, first one. Plum Kush. Blood Oath. Afghanimal.
What was the last one? Afghanimal or?
Afghanimal. So, Afghan and animal.
Animal. Combined into one word.
I know, it is fantastic.
Okay.
Plum Kush, Blood Oath, Afghanimal.
I'm going to say Blood Oath is the pedal.
Okay.
Plum Kush is the weed.
Okay.
And Afghanimal is your mind's eye.
I would love to say you are right, because I would love to have come up with Afghanimal, because it is the greatest thing ever. But no, Afghanimal is the weed. The Blood Oath you did get correct is the pedal, which is a low gain overdrive, and Plumcush is there as a red herring because it sounds like weed.
Yeah, it very much did.
But it sounded too much like weed that it wasn't actually weed. So that's like
you're in my head.
One out of 3. So not a bad start. Not a bad start. All right, let's go for it. 10th planet, Locust, Whirly Durly. So 10th planet, Locust, Whirly Durly.
On the basis of the last one,
yes.
Whirly Durly is not the weed because it sounds too much like weed.
Okay.
So we've got 10th planet, and we've got, what was the middle one, sorry?
Locust.
I think there's a pedal called Locust, so I'm going to go Locust is the pedal. 10th planet is the weed.
You are 3 for 3 on that one, Matt. Well done. Give yourself a pat on the back. Whirly Durly is actually a reference to Rick and Morty. It's
right. Okay.
It's like a ride in a theme park in the future or in space. One of the two. I don't know. I don't know if Rick and Morty is supposed to be set in the future or in space or both. It was funny.
Or neither.
Yeah. Locust is a pedal and is a distortion. Who would have thought it? Right, so third one now. Right, so we've got Tsukuyomi. Bless me. Tsukuyomi. Applejack. Green tracksuit. Tsukuyomi. Applejack. Green tracksuit.
Green tracksuit is the pedal.
Okay.
And Tsukuyomi is the weed. And Applejack is one of the My Little Ponies.
Is it?
Yes.
You've potentially revealed something more about your personality here, Matt. So that is none for none on that one.
Christ.
So
Excellent.
Tsukuyomi is the pedal, which is a boost.
Right.
Applejack is the weed. Green tracksuit is my mind's eye. On the telly while I was writing this, there was a man wearing a green tracksuit. So that's where that came from. So
Excellent.
Say what you see. The old catchphrase from Catchphrase. Right, last one. I think this is for the championship. This is Love 345. Serpents, like serpent, but without the T. It's serpents. And Purple Punch. So Love 345, Serpents, Purple Punch.
Serpents is the weed.
Okay.
Was the last one Purple Bush?
Purple Punch.
Punch.
Yeah.
I will go for Purple Punch being the pedal, and the Love 345 is the nothing, the mind's eye.
Love 345 as the nothing is correct. Is mind's eye. Serpents is not the weed, it is the drive.
Pedal.
That's it. It's a distortion pedal, and the Purple Punch is the weed. You didn't do too badly. I reckon you're probably about 50% there.
Yeah. The Love 345, I think you were trying to, because isn't there a pedal called the 385 overdrive or something like that, and a Love pedal, and it just it sounded like it was trying to be a pedal too much.
Yeah, sounded too like it was trying too hard. No, there was a mug on the table while I was writing this that had Love on it, so I just added some random numbers to it. But yeah. I'll try harder next time. Well done, Matthew. You did well. Along the same line as rehashing old shit, I thought I would take it as an initiative to bring back a used views. Okay, and this is new to you. I haven't told you beforehand. So this is coming to you fresh. So this used views. The Fender Ultra Series is the future of guitar. You want to fight for or against this statement, Matthew?
I think this time, because I always choose, I'm going to let you choose whether you want to fight for or against the Fender Ultra Series.
I'm going to fight for it, I reckon.
Excellent.
Yeah, I could easily fight against it, but I reckon for. Okay, so I'm gonna start my opening gambit. So locking tuners, fucking delicious. Like, why would you ever not have locking tuners? That is the future, hands down. Roasted maple, more stable than regular maple, also sounds delicious. So I mean, that is another bonus. Stainless steel frets that ain't gonna be wearing. You can have those frets in 50 years' time. You won't have to worry about refretting your guitar and it losing its value because it's no longer got its original parts. Stainless steel frets will outlast us all. Stainless steel frets and cockroaches are the only thing that will survive a nuclear holocaust. And you're potentially getting an even roasted maple neck then as well. So in the case of a nuclear holocaust, stainless steel frets and a beautifully roasted maple neck. What else do they have? Contoured, like even more sculpted and contoured heel, but also body cuts for a man of my age and increasing body mass. That is excellence. What else do they have? Noiseless pickups. Who needs to make noise? Imagine they're broken if they're truly noiseless. But no, single coils are amazing. But the thing that does absolutely piss you off if you're trying to record with single coils is that you have to face. I think it's only like facing Mecca, where they don't buzz.
Yeah, totally. That's it.
Otherwise, you get a bit of hum, which is an absolute pain in the arse.
I think you'll find actually you have to face due east so that you're exactly 90 degrees from north, which is obviously magnets, and that's what's affecting the sound. So you have to face parallel, due west or due east, you're parallel with the magnetic field and you don't get the hum. That's what it is.
And Fender have worked in some kind of gyroscopic system where they make your pickups instantly face that. It's not this stacked single coil stuff. They've actually just made them instantly face the parallel to the poles. That was a really clever design from them. This year's views is ridiculous. I absolutely love it. A treble bleed system as well. I'm not entirely sure if that is an actual thing and if the Ultras have it, but I'm going to go with the fact that they do. And yeah, treble bleeds are really, really useful. Pickups, like when you dial the volume back and they don't have treble bleeds, that is really fucking annoying. What else do the Ultras have? Cobra Blue.
You can get that at a Squire from 20 years ago.
Cobra Blue. Yeah, rehashing the old Squire classics.
Okay,
go on.
So you've got like your lists of all of the new features of the Fender Ultra series. So if I just start by talking to you about tonal nirvana, and when you think of tonal nirvana, you think of people like Hendrix or Clapton, or you think of Jeff Beck, or you think of just awesome recorded tone. And these are all on vintage instruments that don't have any of the features that you've mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, but you look at what Clapton's using these days, and although he's not necessarily using the Ultras,
I don't think of his tone right now. I think of his recorded tone from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, which weren't even Fenders, they were Gibsons.
for the most part, there was a couple of fenders. As he sort of got into the 70s, he went kind of down the Fender route.
Never could dominoes.
Right, tone-wise, you don't need any of this treble bleed nonsense, because what you do is you whack the pickups on full output so that you can actually hear the damn things, and then you shove them in the front end of a Marshall that's on 25, and that's where your tone come from. You don't need to roll the bloody tone off or roll the bloody fucking the volume down any. You don't touch any of that nonsense. That's useless stuff for amateurs.
Yeah.
Get rid of them. Just wire the bridge pickup to the output jack and be done with it. But so you've got that contoured heel. Who plays past the 18th fret anyway? What is this? Like, are you a shreddy metal wanker, or are you a jazz fusion player? No, we're a normal human being. We don't need this stupid heel access because we use the normal frets, which is about to 18. I'll allow you to go maybe to 19 if you really need to. The rest of the frets don't even need to exist. So you don't need that stupid heel cut. The neck profile is not a huge baseball bat. So useless. Throw it in the bin. It might as well be an Ibanez Wizard. Get rid of it and give me a baseball bat cut in half.
It's a modern day, and I think we can all appreciate that vintage D is better.
Yeah, we don't want any modern D. And then you talk about locking tuners, but the vintage post tuners with the where you push the string down the middle and then round, and they've got the slot in them, are as locking as a locking tuner without being locking.
Oh, they can absolutely get to fuck. They can get right to fuck without even passing go.
No, you see, I used to be of that mindset. I used to absolutely vehemently hate them. But once you know how to put strings in them properly, they are more stable than your standard ones that aren't locking, and they're as stable as locking.
But why would you bother with those fiddly ass vintage tuners when you could go for locking that you don't have to wind? You just put the string in, lock it, and then tune up. No winds necessary.
But then what if you want to drop tune?
You can drop tune. You can, yeah. You can.
But not very far. If you want to go in from standard tuning to drop A and play some Slipknot, you can't, because you've put the string in and you've tuned, and you've only got maybe 2 tones worth of drop left because your string is stretched, and so you can't get down to that drop A sound.
I would argue the fact that if you're trying to go from E standard to drop A, you are a heathen and you don't deserve a guitar. Because even if your guitar will get down there, the lack of tension on your strings and just the horrible flop city that you will be adorned with is just nope.
Yeah, I mean wasn't really an argument of mine, but I just you don't need locking tuners is the thing. I own one guitar with locking tuners on it, and I don't find it any less annoying when I have to restring that guitar than any other guitar. I just hate restringing guitars. It doesn't make it easier or harder. It's just a thing that you have to do that's frustrating and annoying. And I wish string manufacturers would just come up with a perma string that you put on and it lasts forever. That's what we need. Forget these. Stop investing in new guitars and stuff, and get me an everlasting infinity string. Infinity string. That's what you want to call it.
I'm loving the fact that you've morphed this question from going from the our Fender Ultras, the future, to why are we not inventing the infinity string? And I think for that reason that you absolutely hands down win this Hughes Views. Because
oh dear,
I ain't playing by your rules. Take that, rules.
Yeah,
no, hands down. I'll concede to that, because the sheer gall of it all, the fact that I don't want your question. Your statement is not the thing that we should be tackling right now. And there you go, Elixir or Rotor Sound or Ernie Ball. If you are listening, just get on that perma string idea. And of course, when you do come up with that, please credit Matt with the idea, because he's kindly given you the future of guitar strings. So
I would pay 80 quid a set for perma strings, because you'd never have to change the strings on that guitar unless you wanted to drastically change the tuning.
Yeah, and that would be fantastic. It would be that paired with the stainless steel frets that never wear. You'd be sorted.
You've got the permanent guitar then.
You have, yeah, you're all sorted. We're kind of like 43-ish minutes, so we're probably at about 40 minutes if I take out the preamble that we did at the start. We're gonna tackle a question from Joe as well. This is literally like Joe's own personal cast today. That's Mr. Halliday from Hello Sailor Effects. Not Everything Joseph, who is clearly going to win this week. But hey ho. So his question, and I think this was spurred on by the fact that he has purchased a vintage guitar very recently, is new versus vintage guitars. What's our preference and why? I've added that last little bit. Matt, do you have experience with vintage guitars?
I have played some very nice vintage guitars. Over here on the Isle of Man, there are quite a few, let's say, well-off people who have quite nice instruments, obviously, because you'll all know us being a tax haven. We're not a tax haven. Our tax laws are stricter than yours, so get back in your box. But that aside, for all of you people, we have a low rate of tax, and that entices some well-off people to live here. And playing guitar, you get to know other musicians, and then you end up going around the house to jam or whatever. And I've had the luck to play some 50s and 60s instruments.
Yeah.
For the most part, they are absolute dogs. Usually there's like, I think I've played one Fender and one Gibson that felt like nice instruments. The rest of them, either they haven't been looked after, or the quality control in the 60s and the 70s and the 50s wasn't the same as quality control now, and they just use whatever they could find, and it doesn't always make for the nicest, most comfortable instrument. I've played a Les Paul that probably weighed best part of 13 pounds. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, it was nice to play for the 3 minutes, but if I'd have tried to play that on stage, I would have been one-armed by the end of the gig.
Like strapping a toddler to you.
Yeah, exactly that. So, like, in terms of, like, sound, I think, again, there's massive variations in pickups from the same factory in the same day, because they didn't have modern ways of counting winds and stuff and using exactly the same gauge, like, wire in their pickups and stuff. So again, the sounds that you get, like, there are some absolutely fantastic recorded tones from the 60s and the 70s and the 50s. There are also some fucking terrible tones from that time. And I think it's all about finding those diamonds in the rough. I think if you find a really nice vintage guitar, then you're going to have a really nice vintage guitar. And they do exist, I'll happily admit that. Yeah. But I would always probably go down the route of a modern guitar, because you've got a far better hit rate, I would say, finding a nice modern guitar. That being said, it's always nice to brag that you've got a really old guitar if you ever manage to get one. Yeah.
Yeah, for bragging rights alone, having at least a vintage instrument in your collection is worth a shout. I think I fall very much on the side that you are as well, in the fact that back then, like, electric guitar manufacture was in its infancy, and actually they would do whatever it took to get the guitars out. So it would be a case of, we haven't got that specific wire for the pickups this week. we'll use the next best thing, and then it was the consistency weren't there, or like, oh, the this certain wood isn't the same as it was last week. Oh well. So there's an absolute wild variation in between them. But on the flip side of that coin, if you look at like the guitars that are being produced these days, if you put the Ultra series aside, they're all harking back to those original designs, aren't they? There's so many that point back towards those diamonds that were in the rough and those pinnacle recorded tones.
And like, if I was to think about the best guitar I've ever played, it was a modern guitar, but it was a modern guitar that was supposed to identically replicate a 59 Les Paul. So it's collector's choice number 5, which is Donna, which is after a 1959 Les Paul that our friend Steve has. That's, in my opinion, the best guitar I've ever played. And it's modelled on a 59 Les Paul. It's supposed to have exactly the same dimensions all over the body. They're supposed to be within a 5% tolerance in weight. The pickups are supposed to be within a 3% tolerance of exactly the same output. They are designed to be exactly that guitar.
Yeah.
And I've never played that guitar, so I can't say whether the collector's choice is better or the original thing is better. But what I can say is, if you went and bought one of those collector's choice, yes, there's very slightly subtle differences between the 20 or 50 or however many of them are made, but they were made to spec and they all pretty much play the exact same.
Yeah, and they're pointing back to that original vintage guitar, which suggests that there's some stock in the fact that vintage guitars hold a worth that value. And if you look at, like, if you were looking for a set of replacement pickups for a guitar and you wanted to go down that PAF route, something that sounds authentically PAF, there was an article that very same Steve shared the other day of like the 8 greatest PAF like replica tones, and in that there were like sets that were like 800 quid's worth of guitar pickup, and you just like, if people can warrant charging this for a pickup that replicates that vintage PAF sound, then the original vintage guitars had to be doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing at the end of the day, like I was saying when I was talking about the Ultras, when you think of your favourite recorded sound, wasn't from this year, was it?
Not even close. Okay.
Like Joe himself always goes on about Kossoff at the BBC. That's definitely a vintage tone, isn't it?
Yeah, he weren't on the BBC last week, was he?
Unfortunately not.
No, Koss had tone, but there were so many of them back in the day, and I think we can largely agree that we are within the camp of old guitars sound good.
Yeah, and I think, like, if we manipulate the question ever so slightly and make it like Strandberg and modern style guitars or vintage copies or copies of vintage like guitars like a Strat or a Tele or a Les Paul, I think both of us would choose the classic replicas every time.
Yeah, hands down. I mean, if you look around, I know you can't because we're on a video call, but you look around my room, there's a Strat-shaped Variax there, there's a Strat-shaped Squire there, there's a my number 1 Tele there, and they're all pointing back to these designs that were made in the 50s, aren't they? So
yeah,
that is what
I mean. I don't own a single what I would call modern style guitar. I know you've got a couple of Ibanez's, haven't you?
Yeah.
Which are like they're 80s, so they're still not.
Yeah, modern by the fact that they're like 30 years old.
Like 35, mate. Probably longer than that. Probably like nearer 40.
Oh, steady on. Jakey git. I reckon that's a good place to hit up some news, because I'm looking at we're about 50 minutes in right now. So I mentioned the fact that there was some breaking news this week, didn't I? Breaking in the fact that it is like 20 past 10 on a Monday. So it's Monday the 25th, and at 7 o'clock today. So merely like 3 hours, 4 hours before that pedal show guys, along with Thorpe Effects, released a new pedal essentially, and by the time this podcast comes out, that pedal show limited edition versions will probably have sold out, because they will probably have sold out by the time we've actually finished recording. But so Thorpe has released a new pedal, and in keeping with the last release, which was the Deep Organ, which was chorus vibrato, he's continuing on with the modulation theme, and this is called, wait for it, Matt. This one's called the Camo Flange.
Camo Flange. I mean, flange is always going to get a laugh.
Flange is always going to get a laugh.
But this is invisible flange.
Indeed, yeah, it's a secret hidden flange.
Oh dear! Can we say secret hidden flange on the internet?
I imagine we probably should watch when we say it, but we are referring to a pedal. Yeah, I mean, if you squint your ears, it almost sounds like camel flange, which I dare say is worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's move on, because I was going to make a joke that I definitely can't make.
Is it the one? Because I know a joke that involves camel flange.
No, it was about the secret flange, and I was going to make a joke about the royal family, and I decided not to.
Yes, it's probably best not to do that. I mean,
we won't talk about secret flange in the royal family.
Indeed, we shan't. You can speculate. You can formulate those jokes yourself. Just know that they were thought of but not said, and that's the important thing. That's the legally important thing. They were not said.
Didn't say a damn thing.
There we go. So the Camouflange is the new Thorpe Effects flanger, made in conjunction with Dan Coggins of Love Pedal. I believe it is Love Pedal. Love Tone, Love Pedal, Tone Pedal, Love Tone Pedal. One of those.
Don't look at me. I don't know who's behind any, but like I know Stuart Tate's behind Tate Effects.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Thorpe is behind Thorpe Effects.
Yeah, they're easy to remember because the name is literally the pedal company.
Yeah, and then Joe is kind of, because I've had so many dealings with Joe, I know he's behind Hello Sailor. Yeah, I'm kind of lost from there. I assume a guy called Alexander is behind Xander Effects.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Alex Miller, who's a bit of a ledge. So Dan Coggins of that pedal company, Love Pedal, Love Tone Pedal Tone. He was developing a flange back in the day, which never got released. So this is the flange.
Was this whilst he was still in the womb? He was developing a flange.
Oh dear.
Sorry.
And Adrian wanted to make a flange that was Electric Mistress inspired, but then continued and took it even further. So this one has got the controls that you'd expect. So rate, depth. It's got a manual as well, which you find on certain ones, which I believe mixes in. Because the way this is really fucking paraphrasing it, and this is stretching my brain to even think about this. But the difference between flange and chorus is that manual control where you loop the affected signal back into the circuit, which is the bit that then allows you to make the woo sound. So he's got that. I've probably really butchered the explanation of that, and I think CS Guitars has got an actual explanation on how this works. So if you want to know the actual science behind it, don't take what I've said for gospel. Do some actual research, and I think CS Guitars has got an actual proper video on this. So check that out. So manual, it's got harmonics as well, and one of those controls adjusts the clock frequency, which, yes, I imagine there's a giant Rolex within the pedal, which is assuming what that means. It has nothing to do with the Bucket Brigade clock within that. Almost certain. It's got a treble control as well, so with a lot of modulation, it will give you dark. Yeah, it will give you a certain spectrum which it affects, and like you say, it can sometimes be quite dark. Some are quite nice like that. The CE2 is a bit like that. And Joyo do the analog chorus, which is like that, and how that differs from the chorus ensemble. They're a bit brighter and a bit too bright, so it kind of thins everything out. Whereas this it's got a treble control, so you can kind of dial that into how you want it. Also has got a blend control as well. In the video that was released kind of in concurrence with this release with that pedal show, Dan, not Coggins, Dan Steinhardt, is it, from that pedal show? He mentions how one of the idiosyncrasies of the Electric Mistress is that it is very, very much a sound. It's very unabashed, in your face. It imprints itself on your tone. When you hit that pedal, there is no subtlety to it. It is there. And what I was saying, how the blend control on the Thorpe camouflage does is it allows you to kind of be a little bit more subtle and a bit more reserved with the flange, because flange can be a bit overpowering sometimes.
Yeah, very, very much. It's an effect that I don't tend to use because it's just I always find it a bit too much.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Thorpe throwing his hat into the flange. The
flange ring.
Yeah, the flange ring. Oh, fuck me. It's a minefield of innuendo. This isn't. Absolutely.
At least it's only his hat he's throwing in.
Fuck me. Oh, bless him. He's a respectable man, and
and we're making flange jokes.
We are making flange jokes, which is partly what you expect from this podcast. So we'll move on. We'll do one more bit of news, which is a bit of news left over from last week's live cast that I really, really, really wanted to mention. It wasn't the Joyo thing because we mentioned that. Harley Benton, they're doing some things, aren't they, Harley Benton? So last year, they released a guitar which was quote unquote inspired by the Charvel signature Guthrie Govan, in the fact that it was like stainless steel frets, roasted maple fretboards, all the accoutrements that made it look very much like a Charvel Guthrie sig.
Which was also a guitar that looked suspiciously like the Sewer Guthrie Govan sig.
Yeah. Exactly that.
But they definitely weren't copies. None of them are copies of the other guitars. They were all individual.
Yeah. Yes. Inspired by, I think we can say. Like heavily inspired by. So they've released a new branch from that Fusion series. And that is the Fusion T. And it's not one of those fancy
not like lemon and honey, is it?
Yeah, not one of those fancy brews that you can get like that are supposed to like infuse you with like antibodies and stuff like that. Oh yeah, now with goji berry and it's not one of those. It's the Fusion T, which it takes no prizes to realise they've done it in Telecaster format. So.
Yeah, what you just did was alienate all of our American listeners, by the way, or all of our non-UK listeners. Like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, so Fusion Teas, just for those who are not in the know, and this is for Doug as well, because Doug, bless him,
thanks for that, Doug. Thanks.
Yeah, he made you well sexy, didn't he, Matt? But partway through the week, Andrew Bimson had posted in the group because he's a couple of episodes behind, and he posted Lisa Bellend, and Bellend is a very British term, and he was like, he typed into Doug typed into the group like I had to Google what you were talking about because I hadn't got a clue what are you talking about bells for. So Doug now understands a little bit of British slang, which is fantastic. I like the fact that we're educating America, one person at a time. So yeah, Fusion teas are like a little bit of a trend over in the UK where you have like fancy fruit and like fruity flavour teas. There's like chamomile and lemon and ginger and honey flavoured teas and stupid stuff which isn't just your standard black tea in a circle bag or a pyramid bag if you're particularly fancy. You shop at Waitrose or whatever. Not your standard black tea. You like
none of this Aldi or Lidl stuff.
Churn through like multiples in a week. No, it's these fancy Fusion teas. Back onto the actual guitar, which have absolutely nothing to do with Fusion teas. So
other than being called a Fusion tea.
Yeah, Fusion tea. Yeah. So similar kind of stuff. Roasted maple necks, a parlay body with a flame veneer. I don't know what Sapale is close to. I think it's mahogany. I think Maybury told me that actually. So possibly kind of mahogany flavoured. Roswell LAF Alnico 5 pickups. 22 stainless jumbo frets, so it's going to be quite modern feeling. Graphtec Tusk nut, Wilkinson 2-point trem. I'm not even going to bother trying to read out the it's 52K like 50 1 2K or 50 IIK 2-point trem system, which is their take on the kind of trem system. I think actually the Guthrie 6 might have a Wilkinson trem.
No idea. They might do.
Possibly, because they're finding their way onto a fair few these days. Locking tuners, Wilkinson staggered as well, so no need for a string tree because the posts stagger as the strings get smaller. There are three finishes: ocean turquoise, black, and ebony. Ocean turquoise and black with an ebony board. Sorry, so that's two finishes. Yeah. How much do you reckon they're selling those for?
See, if I remember the last one that we covered last year, I think they were cheap for this type of guitar, but like high for what you'd think a Harley Benton was. Yeah. So I'm going to guess $550.
Not bad at all. €398.
Okay, so cheaper than I expected.
Yeah. But if you consider that, like the sum of the parts, like we've got Graphtec nut, Wilkinson, not just Wilkinson trems, but like the 2-point trem, the staggered tuners, roasted maple with stainless frets, all of that bumps up the price as is. I mean, the Roswell pickups are stating that they're Alnico 5 pickups and will probably sound all right. They're possibly the thing that I would change out. But yeah, like it would appear that Thomann are like laser targeting my wallet now. So yeah, they were like, we couldn't get him on the standard fusions. Let's make it Telecaster flavored. And go.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like, I imagine there'll be very good guitars. From everything I hear about the Harley Bentons, they're better than what you'd expect for guitars in that price point.
Yeah. I mean, I've played like the one and £200 ones, and they're kind of along the same lines as Epiphones. And they're usually like £300-400. So
yeah,
I'd imagine this with all of those accoutrement ones, they're not going to be letting them leave the factory or leave the warehouse without being checked and made sure that they're absolutely bang on. Yeah, it's a very tempting instrument, and just another reason why Thomann are just like knocking it out of the park.
Yep. Yeah. Can't argue with that. Like, some of the stuff that they're doing at the moment is absolutely mental. I know we've talked about it in the past, but the 212 with the vintage 30s for less than the cost of two vintage 30.
Yes.
Is mental, and they've got a few other things. Some of the, like, the fact that you can try whatever style of guitar you want for less than £400. If you want one of these like high spec, similar to a Sur spec or an Ibanez AZ, or that comes in at, what was it, just under £400, and then like if you go down to £200, you can try any flavour of Telecaster from Fender. They've got something copying it, whether it's Cabrinitas or whether it's like a thin line or whether it's like the deluxe or whatever you want. And the same with the Strats, and same with like whatever you want to try. They've got a copy, and they do it good enough that it would tell you whether you'd want to go and spend that extra money or whether you actually don't like that type of guitar. Like if you're 50-50 on a guitar and you've got a little bit of spare cash at the moment, they don't lose that much value by you buying them. So you might lose £50, £70, but in the grand scheme of things, if you lose £50 but find out, actually, yes, I want to spend £800, £900, £1,000 on this guitar, or actually, no, I don't want to spend that £800 and then actually have to sell it again and probably lose £300 or £400.
Yes, it's almost like a rental fee, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that.
And to try the body shape and feel if that body shape feels right when you're playing it, or those specific pickups. If you say, for example, you new to the Jazzmaster shape and you're not entirely sure whether the Jazzmaster sound is for you. It's ideal. It's they very much hit that point in the market, don't they? And I think looking at the time, that is probably where we end it for today. And that was a cast. I enjoyed that.
It was a good cast.
So our usual stuff. If you want to find us online, we have got a podcast group, which is the Fret Talk podcast group. We are also available in the Pedalboards of Doom YouTube, the Pedalboards of Doom group. I do stuff for Pedalboards of Doom YouTube, which this week, last week will be some leagues content, possibly with some more coming out soon as well. BudgetPedalChap at everything with me, so Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Also, which every week you get a new no talk all tone. I had to wrap my head around how to say that then, which is mental.
Ntat,
yes. Which is, it's definitely an abbreviation. Matt, you are heel _ Matt Q at everything, pretty much. Twitch, Twitter,
pretty much.
Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah, all that.
Yep, they're the important ones.
All that fun stuff. We can catch you on the Bad Bookers as well.
Can and
back with full force.
Yeah.
Woo.
It is. We've had a few lives. I think we're live streaming most of our podcasts now, which is great fun.
Yeah.
And Saturday just gone for us, which will be the Saturday before. I actually did a live watch along on Twitch of one of the wrestling shows with all the other guys from the podcast, and we just gave our live reactions as the wrestling was happening. It was great fun.
Oh, nice.
I'm just having great fun on there at the moment, and I'm also we predict for the pay-per-views who we think is going to win all the matches, and we're 3/4 of the way through the wrestling year, or we're over halfway through the wrestling year at this point, and I am top, and I'm in to win 200 quid at the end of the year at the moment, which is awesome, and I just need it to continue.
Nice. I also, before we do wrap up, I want to shout out for a couple of podcasts as well, which I was going to do a little bit earlier, but we'll save it for now. So first of all, I want to shout out for the Tone Jerks, because both me and yourself, Matt, we listen to the Tone Jerks, and it's hilarious and brilliant. And it is like the American counterpart to the Fret Talk podcast. So if you are not a listener of the Tone Jerks, go and do that. We
really need to get that bloody episode sorted, don't we?
That we do. Before Christmas, I'm saying it. I'm putting it out there now. Before Christmas, which Christmas? 2019, 2020, 2025. It's going to definitely before one of those Christmases. No, I'll try and get it done. I'll try and get it organised before this Christmas, which is 2019. I'm also going to throw a shout out to a podcast which is now on its 3rd episode, which is hosted by Mr Max Gibbons, who is not really called Max or Gibbons. And Marcus Deluxe, which is called the Y Mag podcast. It is. I was describing it to Matt before we started this cast as being a bit like the Fret Talk, but with the rambliness turned up to 11, which is it's absolutely hilarious. And those guys they're new, so I mean that's well worth doing a listen just to kind of support those guys, because they're new, but also actually just because they haven't been doing it very long, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad stuff. It's really actually quite entertaining. So go give those guys a listen. with us, do some reviews on iTunes or whatever, all of that jazz. Join the things and do the stuff. We like that. But I just thought I'd give some love to other podcasts for this week.
Join the things and do the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to say the words. You know what's expected. Like, share the podcast to other people. We will grow. Awesome things will happen. And yeah, share the things, do the stuff. Good pod. So for myself, Mr. BudgetPedalChap, before I start rambling or coughing anymore, it will be. Oh, I haven't done the all important. Say goodbye, Matt.
Bye, Matt.
Hey! Right, it will be a tatty bye and good night for this week. Ta-ra a bit, you lovely, lovely people. Ta-ra. Bye. Bro. That was the most non-committal you've ever said bye on this podcast, Matt.
Sorry, I just had an email about tracking a parcel that is going to be enjoyable when it arrives.
Tell me more.
It's going to be like 5 foot tall, maybe a little bit smaller. Like 1.5 foot, 2 foot wide. Maybe like 6 inches deep. And it may or may not have a instrument inside it.
I think I know which instrument this is, and really oddly enough, that instrument is mentioned on the YMAG podcast.
Oh, is it?
It is.
I've just downloaded all 3 episodes onto my phone as you were doing that outro.
I think episode number 1, it mentions it. Although they get your name wrong, they say it's Matt Knight, not Matt Quine.
Excellent. I'll give them some abuse on whatever social media they've got for that.
Yeah, as you should. I've already ragged on him in person. Like DM'd him and went, "You are aware that's like my co-host Matt?" He's like, "Oh shit." But they are as concerned with facts and truth as we are, so it's all good. It is all gravy, baby, not baby gravy.